Busting the world's oldest
Did you know
conspiracy
Jesus
by revealing the first writer's formats in the Bible. Have you ever wondered who is editing the Bible? These are some of the words written by the 1611 King James translators that are wrote in its preface. They state 4 reasons how anyone can re-edit the text in the Bible. Their third reason is by the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next arrow down points to them writing, a great clerk, Gregory, is the divine, spelt with a capital D. At the bottom, they will tell you by studying the Bible, your reward is to have a participation in a heavenly nature. Whereas the Bible's words should be telling you how to be obedient to our Creator to enter into heaven. Now you know by their own words, they are not the good guys editing the Bible. Here, let me show you the 12 commandments that are listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Surprising, isn't it? Now let me show you how I changed one word in Exodus chapter 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and now you know that these planks make the hip roof for the tent for meeting for Yv. Why did I just use 2 letters for our Creator's name? Well, Hebrews did not have the letters J, O, or W in their language. Therefore, I am closer when I say the letters YV in English than anyone else. It is better to learn how to pronounce these 2 letters in Hebrew. Our Creator made me see Him 8 times, and these videos are my recording of how and why I am re-editing their text. Then all these books that I am editing will be made into one book in order. In my YouTube description, it has our Creator's hidden formats in a PDF of the same text. In fact, it is a message to everyone today and in the future. I have also made many different styles from these hidden formats for copyright reasons. I'm going to do a little quick review on the last chapter that I've done to help you understand what I'm doing here. I'm finding the first person or the first writers of the text in the Bible on the Hebrew side. There are 2 different formats, and I'm kind of mentioning them above me, but it's there's the 3 verse, and then there'll be a 4 verse. This here is the 4 verse, and I show you it kind of pulled out a way so you can see that I have like a double space gapping, and that's because these 2 group together to become a larger paragraph. These are really small, these verses become a small paragraph, and these paragraphs here, it's a comma and then a period, then a comma, and then a period, and that way these becoming like a sentence and then another sentence, and like I said, becomes a paragraph. Now, what I did in just got done doing this chapter here, I had to add a few things, and this I need to correct. That needs to be in gray. Yah is Jesus's name that they gave Jesus, or the Hebrew people gave Jesus at David's time. And then I used this color font, or I think it's purple, to represent all the text that has to involve from our Creator. So you can now see that this is what He is saying and things like that. So that's what that text is about. Now, what I am doing is I'm compiling all the Hebrew books that I'm finding these formats that are actually telling us the true story from Genesis to Jesus, and everything else is being thrown out. In chapter 19, there's 21 verses, so this one won't take that long, but there's a lot to be said in here. This is the king, and this is his wife. So let me put a timeline up here for you. This is the king that's being spake of. This guy's name is going to come up as a king. Above, he's mentioned as a prophet, so I have to change it so when we do searches, we don't confuse the two names. But it's at this time that this text is starting to talk about. So, oh, the other thing is the layout for where this is taking place. Samaria is the capital city for Israel. So this is the river that in this area is where, and it could have been anywhere along here. I just said the Jordan River, but there was a famine or there was a drought for 3 years. So it depends on how much water these rivers had and how far they dried up. Now, this is the kind of the area that's being talked about, and sometimes on the other side. So let me get back to the text and start editing it. After, I guess, you've seen enough of me and understand who I am and some of the things that I've been posting above my head. So what I'm going to do is put up Psalms that have been found in the hidden formats about Jesus. That way, those that are coming in during this video that I'm making, hopefully that'll interest them and give them something to read through the Psalms about Jesus. Now, this king just got done witnessing Elijah putting water all over his sin offering for the people, and then fire coming or descending down from our Creator and accepting his offering. And then he went and killed all those other diviners that were for this king who is set up now for Ra, the sun god, and the moon goddess is his daughter. And then the other roaming stars, as we know as planets, and those gods and all the stars were known as the hosts of heaven. So this is what he brought to Israel to now follow, where Jeroboam, when he first stopped people going to Jerusalem, he set up an image and said it was Yah, and they didn't need to go down farther. So, now this just happened. So, and now the rain is supposed to come. I think, yeah, and then this rain is going to happen. So it's pouring down rain. So this is going to happen probably after the rain. Or no, as it's raining, this is probably what's being told. So I can't use the word now. It has to be then. And this is how I add a word or change a word to the correct word, and I use green. Then Joram told Jezebel all Elijah had done of all of, and this is what I do when I'm adding a word, it's italic. Jezebel of, I'm going to say everything here. Elijah had done, and how he killed all the diviners for Ra with the sword, with their sword. He had the crowd to kill them. I'm adding this, so I do this. And then you can now see that I've got, this is a 3-verse format where this verse is a statement, and that'll be with a period. So that means that's a period. And then this is going to be a comma, and then a period to make a sentence to define what this statement is about. So that's, now these two go together, and I'll put an extra space in between them. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, so this would be a period, and a comma. Now out of this, I got to get a 3 by tomorrow's time. So this is going to be after the great storm. So she sent them out during the storm. And I can say by tomorrow's about this time. Oh, this has to be so for my, she was the one that helped this king do all this stuff. So I have to say, so for my creator, I will and I don't need all this. I'll make your life as their life tomorrow. Make your life like their life tomorrow, which means she's gonna kill him. But I can't get away from just adding words that I would want there, or at least not yet. Life, their life tomorrow. Well, it needs to really be death so that you understand that why he's going to get up and run away. So without trying, I'm just going to put death, like their death tomorrow. So, and from life to death, I got to say I'm adding that. So I'm changing that word too much. I know it's kind of like the intent within the shadow of the word I say sometimes, but this one is too far away from the shadow. It's like on the far edges. So not good enough. I have to say I'm adding it. Now that means that those two will group together, and I'm going to come down here and I got to find another two groups. This, when I was doing it, I learned it had to be save. To save his life. And he was afraid and ran. To save his life. And he didn't came, he went. Where'd he run to means where he went. So went to, now this is, he's not going to go to there because right now what I'm going to do is leave it a blank. But I know the story because I edited it a little bit, so I know what's going on here. Jay's journey to the wilderness. So here's where he went to. Okay. Now, what does the wilderness mean? This means that this is like the edge before it's desert. Okay. Now, this could be in the valley going down to the Jordan River. As anybody who's studied, there's this desert because the steepness of the sides for the Jordan. So this is where the grass is not quite grass, where the trees are just shabby and parcel grass is where the wilderness is at, leading into the desert. So I'm going to put wilderness, although I'm going to do that and then say I got it from down here, but I don't need any of this. And sat by a quest himself that he might die. Now he might have said these things, but I'm not going to go that route. And here, this story about arise and go, and then he made this, he gave him bread, this angel gave him things. Well, the only thing is, all this is wrong for the simple fact that our Creator knew where he was going, and because the words here, behold, I was going to say the word after has to be after, words from YHVH came to him, and I don't need these. And the words are, what are you doing? Okay, now these are Creator's words. So after here, when, now this is coming from, he's now at the edge. So now that he's there, it's going to be when he came, when he was there, because we already have him that he went there, so I can't say he got there. So when he was there, he found a cave. Now, there's a lot of caves in here. I think that's where they might have found some of the Dead Sea Scrolls, or that's why they know about these caves, and they're still there today. But not many people visit them, but I'm sure they've scoured them now. So this, I'm adding this to meet the format. Found a cave to live there, hide there, stay there. He's running from her, so he's hiding out. To hide out there. Now this group goes with the other words above. So now I got to find two more here. And after words from YV came to him. So I'm going to just say I added it. Came to him. What are you doing? Elijah said, Elijah answered, well, I don't think he did any of this. He doesn't need to complain about that. He's avoiding the question here. So what's the answer? Answered, I am alone. No. Okay. This I don't think I can use. Elijah answered, and I'm going to come up and get her name and see if I can work with that. So to keep the subject on matter. So I'm going to put her name here. Is Ismael is seeking well, not seeking, looking. I'm going to say if I just take this word, then move it from there to here. To take my life. Now, I left for Jezebel is looking this would be up here. He's got to answer the question. I left for or did he run? No, he left. For Jezebel is looking to kill me. That's the intent. So now that's within the shadow of the word. So yeah, so I left for Jezebel is looking to kill me. Looking for me to kill me. And I think that would be good putting those two in. All right, now when I went through this group of words, I'm trying to think, what is this doing but made up bullshit when I got done reading it? Because all this I can skip over and then YV answers. So that's what I found. We needed our creator to then tell him what's going on, not having the story stuck in the middle. So here, if I absolutely just get rid of it, and let's see, okay. So what I want to do is just put a different size space here because this is going with this. He's replying. So here, I need two of them here to start this. YV told him go on your way from the wilderness to Damascus. He's now sending him to Damascus, which is kind of odd, a prophet going up there, but let's just do what the text is telling us it's saying. And this is our creator speaking. Go on your way from the wilderness to Damascus. When you arrive, And I'm thinking he's not going to go in there. I'm remembering the story here, and it's going to be it's got to be before you arrive, because this guy's going to hear that this Israeli is coming. They're going to go tell the king, and the king who is sick is going to send his son, this guy here, to him, and then he's going to tell him, he's not going to anoint him as king. He's not going to, the anointing oil comes from our Creator's tent, okay, or house. So here, that word is not right. This word is definitely going to replace this word. And before you, well, you will prophesy to this guy. He will be king. Of Aram. Most of the time I use the word for, so okay, so now I've got 2 3s, which that means it's grouped together, and I better save it. Now, this is where the text now becomes confusing. I really tried to do a lot of editing here. Now, what happens here, that the story is not, the story is going to be about when he's going there, but this story here is what he's going to tell him to do next. Okay, so it's got to be, he's got to find Jehu, and he's just going to be a descendant from David's. We don't know which father he's from, but it's from David's, and he's in the land of Israel, so it's, or the nation Israel, not in Judah. And the promise our Creator made, David's sons are supposed to be kings over both of them forever. So I can't have him not coming from David. So I have to introduce Jehu from David's. Will you anoint king to be over Israel? To rule Israel is the word over, and I think I'll use that word, rule. So the text above here is missing. Will be the anointed king to rule Israel. And Elijah, your attendant. Attendant. Will anoint him as my prophet. Anoint him as my prophet. So now you can see what this text, why I did it this way. In your place, no, don't need that text. And those that, if you're watching the stuff that's going on the right, are Psalms in the hidden formats that I found in Psalms about Jesus. Now this has got to be what he's going to tell Jehu to do. From the sword of Jehu, he will put to death all who knelt all who knelt. Worship, it's got to be worship. Ra is the sun god from Egypt. So this I don't need. I'm going to say strike. Meaning use the sword. Not death, but die. Strike them to die. Okay, now that's the 3 verse. But here, I've got to say that I got to skip all these to get to this right here. So this needs to be out. As my prophet, and by the sword of Jehu, he is to strike them to death. By the sword of Jehu. Yep, that works. And then come down here. Now this don't need. Then not sure if I'm going to use this as a major word or not. Then he left. So this means this. He left. Yeah, I don't need this. He left from there and found Elijah. Now, this story about him, he's already his attendant. All this talking about sacrificing the ox that he's plowing the bullshit. He left from there and found Elijah. He left from there and found Elijah. And followed him as his attendant. So skipped all the way down there to find this last one that really kind of does fit the situation. But he left from there and found Elijah. And went to Damascus. But if he was already his attendant, which is what the text is saying above when I was editing it, then he went to, I gotta go get the word Damascus here. And I gotta use that to spell it, so I think that's a better way of this text and not this text down here. Okay, now that's the end of this chapter, so that's 38, so I went past it right here. Open this up, put it here, clean it up, and see if I got the format correct. Now this is a group, and this should be 2. This should be 2 right here. This needs to be 1 space. Then 2. Then 1. Then 2. Then 1. And this has got to be a larger space. Something's got to go in here because you can't just start talking about. It's got to have, like, when you return. So what is the text down here doing? See, if I put this as 2, and then this as 2, but this is too much of a. But then I've got it tied together. I have got to put in this missing stuff. I just have to place it in here because it's not making sense to me otherwise. I can't go directly to there. So what happened here? Oh, didn't get the third one. Space than this. So something's got to be in here to get from here to here. But that is going to be chapter 19. Let me see here. Let me do this to you. Yep, 19. But that's it for this one. I know it didn't take long, but what you're seeing is I'm getting more in depth of the stories of the kings. And then the timeline for the kings is starting to shape up. I don't have this king yet here, and I don't have the story of what Jehu's going to do here, because that's got to be part of the prophecy, and I don't know where that's coming. Now, I've got text that I'm thinking is from here, but just pieces and pieces from these right here. So as I go through more kings, I've got to get these kings here involved and these involved yet. That's what's missing to put all the text together. But as you can see, the format looks pretty distinctive by having this double gap between them. So we'll make another video pretty soon. So let's see.